Hello friends, welcome to the official YouTube page of Everest IS Academy. So today we are going to discuss February 25, 2020 Hindi newspaper analysis from the UPSC Prelims 2020 point of view. So the first article which came in the headlines is Donald Trump calls Modi a true friend, lavishes praise on Prime Minister. So basically friends, as we know, yesterday US President Trump has landed in India. So that time actually he has visited Ahmedabad, and during that time actually he has praised, during the speeches he has actually lavishly praised our Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji. So basically friends, he has said that Narendra Modi is a powerful and tremendous successful leader. So in addition to that, he has also praised India also. So he said that after a period of 17 years from the independence, we have actually still we are having the largest democracy. In addition, we have become a much economic power in the world. So he has said all these things, friends. So next article is dissenter not anti-national, says Supreme Court judge. Friends, this article is very important for the especially mains examination. So basically friends, during the mains examination, they will be giving you an analytical question, and they will be asking you to write about the especially questions related to dissent, because this dissent is one of the popular thing which is now coming across in the national media due to the various protests which are happening in the country with respect to Citizenship Amendment Act or revoking the Article 370 status. So there are various protests which are happening across the country. So basically friends, what do we mean by dissent? First let us understand, then we will go to discuss the article in much detail. Basically dissent refers to having an opinion which is considered to be much in difference with a larger collective public opinion or with that of the government. Suppose if you are having a very different opinion and if you are going to represent that we call it as a dissent. So regarding that only actually our current Supreme Court judge, so he has made a statement. So his name is Deepak Gupta. So what he has said is that so any party which is getting elected by means of majority and forming the government, so it doesn't mean whatever opinions it forms or whatever schemes or policies it forms, it should not be opposed. So there is always another opinion which can be formed by a category of people. So it doesn't mean that they should actually remain silent. So that is what the crucial theme of his particular speech, friends. And with respect to mains, actually this is considered to be crucial, because he has talked not only about dissent, he has also actually related it to the seditions in the country. We know friends, already in our country we are having a sedition law. Suppose a person who is having a dissenting opinion and it is taking a form of violence and establishing the notions of government through that any kind of protest, then we call it that action as a sedition action. So hence this is very important from the mains aspect for this year examination. So in addition to that, what this particular judge has actually said is that, so as we have discussed, it is not the government who is always right. So citizens can come together. Only thing is, whenever they are dissenting or voicing their opinion or protesting in the public, they have to be peaceful. So they should not convert that movement into a violent movement, because if you see friends, in the independence struggle only, our father of nation Mahatma Gandhiji, when he launched the civil disobedience movement, he used this dissent as a powerful opinion to actually challenge the British schemes and policies. So and this dissent is actually very well guaranteed in our constitution also under freedom of speech. So hence, for protecting the fundamental rights of the constitution, we need to provide the citizens a dissent. In addition to that, it is also a human right. So this is the important things which has been made by our Supreme Court Judge Deepak Gupta, friends. Next article is Archaeological Survey of India planning barricade around famed stone chariot at Hampi. So basically friends, this article is important for the preliminary examination under the art and cultural segment. So if you see friends, under the art and cultural segment, they will give you, especially they will pick questions which are actually included under the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And for your information, this Hampi temple or Vitala temple, which is located in Karnataka, so this is actually already a UNESCO World Heritage Site only, and this was actually constructed during the time period of 15th century. So that is during the time period of Vijayanagara Empire, so who ruled the particular time period of that area from 14th century to 17th century. So they only constructed this Vitala temple. So inside the Vitala temple, we have this actually the series of temple complex, and one among them we have a stone complex, actually a stone chariot like this will be present inside the Hampi temple. And this is actually the Archaeological Survey of India. Now it wanted to install a wooden barricade against this, so around this actually this stone chariot, so that they don't want the tourists to come and actually disturb the ancient heritage of our country. So from the preliminary point of view, let's go and study the basics of Ithaleshwara temple. It is actually a Shiva temple, friends, so kindly note this. So in addition to that, as we have seen, inside the temple, if you see, there are a lot of pillars will be constructed, and that is actually one of the notable things of Vijayanagara Empire, which you would have studied in the medieval India. So basically, friends, this Vijayanagara temple architecture are known for actually that mandabas and so many pillars which will be constructed in the mandabas. So in this particular Vithaleshwara temple, these pillars are constructed with the help of granite pillars. So in addition to that, kindly remember, friends, this is a stone chariot which is actually looking in the temple. This is what the currently now Archaeological Survey of India wanted to give you a protection to this stone chariot temple in especially the Vithaleshwara temple. Next article is income scheme to cover fewer farmers. So basically, friends, like last year government budget, when we went for the interim budget due to the elections, so that time our government, due to the electoral campaign, they have announced this PM Kisan Samriddhi Nidhi scheme. So it is a scheme in which the government wanted to give the farmers of the country 6,000 rupees, and that too this 6,000 rupees will be given in 3 installments only, and this 6,000 rupees will be only given to small and marginal farmers of the country. So first we should understand the basics of what do we mean by small farmer and marginal farmers, friends. Basically, a small farmer is one who is having a land area less than 2 hectares, whereas a marginal farmer will have a land area less than 1 hectare in which he is cultivating. So to these kind of farmers who form a majority in our country, roughly around 85% in our actually like Indian population, the farmers are actually small and marginal farmers only, friends. So for them, actually the government wanted to introduce this scheme. So what is the main objective of the scheme? If you see, friends, the government actually had 2 objectives in its mind. One among them, it wanted to give this price incentive so that actually like they can go and buy the inputs. So that is the main objective. And second thing is they also wanted to protect the farmers from actually like going into the clutch of money lenders who will be exorbitantly charging the interest rates, so that the farmers will suffer when they go for the crop loss. So the government wanted to protect this. That is the main objective. So let's go and discuss the other facts regarding this particular article. So as of now, if you see, friends, last year according to the government data, they targeted around 14 crore people, but we have reached only 12 crore people targeted. But this year what happened is that actually like the government, actually like last year it was 14 crore, now the change has been made to target only 12 crore. That is the update. But if you see, last year only when we targeted 14 crore, actually like we have reached only around 10 crore people. So the basic problem is what happens is that West Bengal and Bihar, actually like we have a problem. West Bengal government, they didn't join the scheme at all, whereas the Bihar government is actually like it is having a procedural complications with respect to approaching the like especially the registries of farm landowners, and in giving the like processing the applications, it is taking a lot of time. That's why actually we went for a fall in from 14 crore target, we have reached only 10 crore, but this year we are targeting only 12 crore. So our actually genuine target, we will be reaching only around 8.5 crore targets only. So from the preliminary point of view, let's go and study the additional facts. As we have discussed, this Prime Minister Kisan Samriddhi scheme, it was actually started during the time period of 2019 only, and here we will be giving 6,000 rupees in 3 installments. So next article is editorial article. This talks about the dual citizenship status, especially for the Sri Lankan refugees in India. So basically, friends, if you see, as of now in India, this due to the under the constitutional obligation, our constitution is very clear on this front that we will not give dual citizenship to any part, like in case of India. Whereas in case of countries like USA and all, they are practicing dual citizenship, where in USA, if you see, friends, there are 50 states in the USA. So in 50 states, actually the citizens of the state can enjoy the state citizenship. So they will be getting some exclusive benefits which other citizens of states cannot enjoy in USA. In addition to that, the citizens of the state are also citizen of the federation also, so of the center also. So they enjoy a dual citizenship there. But in case of India, we don't have that particular thing. We are only having actually a like single citizenship. Previously we used to have a dual citizenship only in the case of Jammu and Kashmir state, and that also we have revoked. After we revoked the article 370 status, now even Jammu and Kashmir citizens are enjoying only single citizenship only. So here with respect to double citizenship, citizenship, actually in 2003 the BJP government went for the overseas citizenship of India. That time actually we have given the persons of Indian origins, they can actually come and get this overseas citizenship India, where actually whenever they are visiting India they can stay for a longer time. Like that we have given some exclusive benefits to them, but they cannot anyhow go and stand any constitutional post, or they cannot get any government post, or they cannot stand in elections. So we have some actually we have excluded some rights which are actually available only to the citizens of the India. So this is the government point of view. With respect to that only this article is written, saying that actually the government should at least relax the why? Because when the Elam war was happening, that time actually there was lot of refugees who came and actually they settled in the Tamil Nadu. Currently they are in the refugee camps only, where they are facing inhospitable conditions. So to make them to enjoy some rights, actually what this author has actually he has requested to the government is that we should actually go for a relaxation with respect to this OCI cardholder scheme, where we can give exclusive long-term benefits, where by relaxing that we can give the Sri Lankan refugees so that they can come and work in India. And those of the refugees, because if you see friends, around now only in India, especially in Tamil Nadu, there are around 1 lakh refugees who are staying in refugee camps. So there are some of the refugees who want to go back to Sri Lanka also, because they enjoy the citizenship status there. So for that also our government should help on this front. That is what this article is all about, friends. Next article is the issues around data localization. So basically friends, this article is written in the backdrop of recent personal data protection bill. So this bill actually it was a 2019 bill, and it is now tabled in the parliament, and it has been referred to the joint parliamentary committee. So this author has actually he has suggested some measures to the joint parliamentary committee so that they should change all these provisions. So first, under the data protection bill, government is planning to create a data protection authority, which we have discussed very much in detail in our previous videos also. Under that actually there are two crucial things which you need to understand, friends. First thing is that personal data. Second thing is that there is a critical personal data. So basically friends, those personal data actually for them, the information has to be stored in India, and for that if any person is if those social media companies who are called as data intermediaries, if they wanted to process this data outside India, they should get the consent of the individual, and if he says okay for that, his data can be located in the server outside India and it can be processed outside. This is the thing which we have given under the personal data protection bill, whereas critical personal data has to be necessarily stored in India and it has to be processed also only in India only. So this is what we refer as actually data localization norms. This is where actually the US government is now currently angry with India, saying that because most of the social media companies like Facebook, Twitter, which are based in USA, so for them, if they locate their servers in India, they have to actually bear upon large amount of cost, and it will actually increase their profit sharing mechanism. So that is where they are bothered about, and even US President Trump also is insisting India to relax on this particular front. So regarding that, what this author has actually suggested, he has suggested some relaxation also with respect to government. So currently our government is actually only focusing upon the information which is going to be located outside India. So that is where actually we are bothered about. That is a concept called as data localization, where we want the servers which are to be processed has to be located in India, because we wanted to protect the privacy of the citizens. Because if you see friends, under the article 21 of the Constitution, where right to life and personal liberty is included, under that only we have the right to privacy also. It was placed under the 2017 Puttusamy case. So under this case only, this right to privacy has been placed under the fundamental right of the Constitution, and this actually our country need to be protected, especially our government need to protect this. So that is what this author is saying. So for obligating due to this right to privacy, where instead of that, what we can do is, rather than going and stressing upon this data localization norms where the servers has to be located in India, we can actually make and focus upon especially the state related infrastructures. We can go and focus upon the skill training of the employees who are actually going to be trained in India, and cyber security standards can be improved, and technical knowledge status, especially for these persons who are going to handle this data. This format can be actually improved, and this infrastructure, if it is strengthened, means we need to be least bothered whether the information is processed in India or processed outside. Suppose if we have a better cyber security standards, means wherever the data is actually processed, with the help of these cyber security protocols, we can have a better safety and security of the privacy of the Indians. So that is what this author is written, friends. So he is actually discussing all this information only in much detail. So in addition to that, in the conclusion, what he is saying, basically, in addition to that, our government should go and sign for mutual legal assistance treaties, because what happens is that now for the personal information, the data can be processed outside India. Suppose if it is processing in US, the US foreign intelligence can also intrude into the data, and there can be a chance for data leak also with the help of the corporate companies who are operating from India. So now what happens is that time when we wanted to file some criminal cases, means we need to actually have a legal agreement. That is what we call it as mutual legal assistance treaty, and this is what India need to sign now. That is what this author is saying. In addition to that, what he is saying, we should actually go and develop better data digital infrastructure in India only. So these are the things actually he is suggesting, friends. So next article is a US strategy only meant to isolate China. So basically in this article they are talking about the Indo-Pacific strategy, because this is one of the most commonly used terminologies in the international arena as of now, because US always uses Indo-Pacific strategy to actually whenever it refers to any freedom of navigation in Indian Ocean region, means so it is always including India only under the Indo-Pacific strategy. So there is already a Quad like organization. Under Quad like organization we are having US, Japan, and then Australia, and then India. So they actually focus upon maintaining the freedom of navigation in the Indian Ocean region only. So basically, friends, what this author is suggesting, we should go and understand the meaning of Indo-Pacific strategy, because this term has become a misnomer now. Because what he is saying is that the deeper agenda of the US government over using Indo-Pacific strategy is basically it wanted the larger Asian states. As we have said that Quad organization includes those 4 states, leaving USA, other 3 are Australia, India and Japan. So basically they wanted to cluster these 3 countries and they wanted to isolate China. This is the idea behind Indo-Pacific strategy. That is what this author is saying. So in addition to that, friends, basically if you see the what is the objective behind this USA, means so basically they some other countries like Japan and Australia and all, they are very much skeptical also regarding the usage of Indo-Pacific strategy. Thereby they wanted to isolate the Chinese region. So because Japan is actually avoiding the word strategy only whenever it is using this in case of diplomatic arena, whereas Australia is using actually comprehensive strategic partnership. In case of whenever it is signing a deal, means it has signed a comprehensive strategic partnership with China also. So it is also a little skeptical with respect to Indo-Pacific strategy, whereas India is the only country which is very much loyal to the US President's Donald Trump's this Indo-Pacific visionary strategy. So next article is guns, gas and technology. So here they are basically talking about the Indo-USA prospects with respect to all the domains. So since US President Trump has now visited India, they are actually discussing some of the major achievements which has been done and what are the areas which we can now focus upon. So what they are saying is that in case of defense, our government is now going to sign a $3 billion trillion. So that is one of the major agreement we are looking for in this Trump visit. In addition to that, we are also planning to sign some crucial energy related agreements also with respect to buying of shale gas from USA. So these are the major domains where we have major prospects with respect to US President Trump's visit. In addition to that, friends, if you see, US is actually maintaining 4 foundational defense agreements which it will sign only with some close countries which it considers with respect to the strategic partnership. And one among them which it considers very close is also India, because till now with India, out of the 4 these foundational agreements, it has signed 3 foundational agreements in India. So basically, friends, that is what they are actually discussing in this article. So the only 4th agreement which has not been signed is that is related to sharing of geospatial data, in which India is little skeptical about, and talks and negotiations are going on. So with respect to other agreements which India has signed only, they are discussing in that. One is a logistic exchange and memorandum agreement. Here basically, friends, with respect to this agreement, actually what they will do means whenever actually India and USA, they are doing joint patrol exercises, they can come to each other military facilities and they can do the refueling activities. In addition to any disaster relief activities or humanitarian assistance activities, they can go and do joint operation. That is the idea behind this agreement. Next agreement is communication compatibility and security agreement. In this agreement, basically, friends, India and USA actually what they will going to do means Indian military, they will actually go and have a the US government will give us separate, that's secured mode of communication technology to India under this technology. So using that technology, what happens is that using that agreement, India can use this technology so that whatever information it wanted, the encrypted information it can have actually with respect to US military based communications. So this is the idea behind signing that agreement also. In addition to that, US also like it has categorized India as a major defense partner, and even it has it has granted India the strategic trade authorization 1 status, which means India can go and buy large of defense weapons also. So as we have discussed, Indian companies also invested $4 billion in the shale gas sector in US, and we are actually looking for like signing some LNG, that is liquefied natural gas agreement also in this coming visit. In addition to that, we are currently having this 2+2 dialogue, which refers to the defense and foreign ministers of each other countries sitting together and having a negotiation. So these are the things which we are currently doing, friends. Next article is banks profitability remains fragile, says Das. So basically, friends, in this article they are actually talking about one important concept. So what he has said is that RBI governor with respect to non-performing assets problem and with respect to the insolvency bankruptcy code problem and all, the country, the banking sector is having actually, they are running on a low profit margin. So this is actually a major problem. In addition to that, what he has said is that actually like the capital position of banks, that is what we call it as recapitalization, which has been done by the government. So this concept we will discuss, friends. Due to this only, now the health of the banking sector has actually improved. So basically, friends, what do we mean by this recapitalization? Means government will actually like since there are a lot of public sector banks in the country, now government what will do, it will actually pump in some money either through selling of shares or bonds, so that through that it will get some money, and that money will be given to the private like public sector banks of the country. So where this government of India enjoys a ownership position also. So by giving the money to them, it will increase their share of ownership also. So what happens is that why the public sector need that extra money means basically they need to comply with the Basel norms. So what is this Basel norms is all about means in the international arena, this Basel norms is actually like it is referred to as the Bureau of Indian like international settlements. So that is where this is the organization which goes as an publishes this Basel norms, which is applicable to all the member countries of the world. So what happens in which RBI is also a member. So currently in case of India, we are having the Basel 3 norms. This Basel 1 norms and all we started implementing from the time period from 2012 only. Now we are actually focusing upon Basel 3 norms. So Basel 3 norms necessitates a bank actually has to maintain that is capital risk weighted ratio of 8%. So India is now currently actually satisfying this criteria also. So what we mean by this, especially these Basel norms means that actually like there is a risk weighted asset ratio. So basically what happens is that we call it as a term called capital adequacy ratio. So based upon the risk weighted asset ratio, suppose what happens is that all the banks of the country will be having actually like they would have lended to the public, and they will be having a weights also, and based upon the weights assignment they will be like, especially the central bank of the country will identify the risk weighted assets, how much they are having. Upon the risk, they have to maintain a capital also. So currently that capital requirement in our country is 8%, and this is what actually mandated in the international standards also, and this Indian banks are now complying with these standards also. So for maintaining that standard, our government of India will usually give this recapitalization to the public sector companies, especially public sector banks, whereby they will increase the share, and this is actually considered to be an investment, whatever money it is giving, because upon that it will get some interest, and this interest money is also useful for the government of India for managing its fiscal deficit targets also. So thank you, friends, we'll meet tomorrow. So if you like our video, kindly subscribe to our video, and if you have any doubts, please post your doubts in the comment section.